Guys, remember Tim Walz? Remember that Tim Walz exists? I remember, because I'm woke. Maybe you forgot. You were busy with other stuff.
Donald Trump's modern day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye, just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared. To be clear, there's no way for us to know whether they were actually criminals or not, because they refused to give them a trial. We're supposed to just take their word for it. And when duly elected members of Congress tried to exercise their constitutional right of oversight at an ICE facility, they get shoved around and threatened with arrest.
I'm a little concerned. I'm kind of disposed towards cynicism in account of the whole, like, the world is falling apart thing. I'm a little jaded, I'll admit. Tim Walz has made mistakes in messaging. Most of those mistakes were forced on him. For instance, the DNC making him no longer, like, call the opposition weird. He's always seemed like, if nothing else, a good guy. The big problem that the Democrats have is inauthenticity, right? A lot of Republicans are authentically lunatics, and that gives them power. Democrats are inauthentically left-leaning, or at the very least not committed enough to the position to do anything with it, which means that even people who align with their politics see they kind of reek of insincerity, right? There's a reason why Congress is not popular right now. Tim Walz seems like an actual guy. I just said in a previous segment, to the YouTube folks, right? Like, the whole defund or remove ICE lefty talking point has been vindicated beyond the wildest dreams of its advocates, right? Like, I remember back when the abolish ICE stuff was like, in the Obama administration, it was like, oh, you crazy lefties, you can't do that. We know that ICE had only been around for like 7 years before Obama was inaugurated, but that you can't get rid of it. That's crazy, And then with no effort, the Trump administration weaponized ICE and turned them into, the Gestapo, which they are. They just flat out are. ICE is being used not just in immigration enforcement, but broadly in the intimidation of political enemies. Tom Homan, the border czar, is making thinly veiled threats to Democratic, politicians, elected officials, saying that, if you impede ICE in their functionality in any way, which I presumably, not being Hitler is an impediment to ICE in an ideological sense, that you might be subject to arrest. Abolish ICE needs to be a mainstream position in the Democrats. Bush administration chief of staff Bill Kristol recently posted abolish ICE. It's mainstream now. Really? Yeah, it kind of did. Where does the abolish ICE movement go to get its apology? That's funny. It's last month. All right. I mean, whatever. The Department of Homeland Security actually got pissy about this. What Tim Walz said, I mean. Governor Walz's comments comparing ICE agents to the Gestapo is sickening. ICE agents put their lives and safety on the line to arrest criminal illegal aliens let into our country. Below are just some of the criminal illegal aliens ICE has arrested in Tim Walz's Minnesota. Guys, don't look at our abuses of human rights. Look at these brown people we're moving. Oh, are they going to cry? Yeah. I think they were bitching that, assaults against ICE agents are up, 400%, which for one is funny and for two is definitely bullshit. It does show this is something they're afraid of, though. Yeah, essentially. This is a line of logic that they're not happy with, because one thing that Republicans have really been benefiting from is the fact that the Democrats have normalized a lot of the fascistic things that Republicans are now weaponizing to the extreme. Look at Israel, right? The Biden administration, after October 7th, condemns the encampment protests on college campuses, stokes illegitimate fears of anti-Semitism disingenuously, right? In a way of quelling anti-Israel protests. And now in the Trump administration, they're revoking green cards over protesting against Israel, right? Likewise, Biden capitulates to the anti-immigrant narrative and starts cracking down on the border. Democrats start being supportive of the wall under Biden's term. And now the DHS is weaponizing ICE as the Gestapo, right? So I think that Republicans are concerned. The thing they really fear, is a consistent and broad anti-ICE position. It's not enough to be anti-Kristi Noem, right? That's not enough. Remember, Tom Homan, appointed under Obama. It's not about Kristi Noem. It's about ICE. It's about the DHS. It's that institution and everyone in it. There's no good version of them, and they're not necessary. They don't do anything necessary. I hope this gets capitalized on here. I mean, it's essential. I don't know. Tim Walz got to receive so many more death threats now. Tim Walz, I don't know if he has any political ambitions going forward. I really hope that he does. It seems like he's been getting a lot of prominent speaking roles over the past couple of months. Like, he's definitely not completely out. But man, he's a good guy. Abandoning trans people a mistake for Democrats, says Tim Walz. Spoke to The Independent about this issue. It's a mistake, and here's the thing. We need to tell people the cost of your eggs, your healthcare being denied, your homeowners insurance, your lack of getting warning on tornadoes coming has nothing to do with somebody's gender. I mean, if it's between this and Gavin Newsom telling Charlie Kirk, like, yeah, maybe Republicans are right, trans people are degenerates or whatever, I'll take Tim Walz's side, I think. I think that's probably the better of the two options. He's too nice. I do think that Tim Walz is a little bit too nice. I think we need someone more cutthroat, but I think there's a possibility he could end up being more cutthroat, you know? Like, keep in mind that the meanest Tim Walz got was still in the context of him being a Democratic official during the Biden administration, i.e. like the most cucked position you could possibly be in. I think that he has the potential to be a lot meaner. What if the pendulum swings to how nice Walz is electorally? Like, people prefer that. I don't think that's going to happen, at least not for a long time. People like meanness. People always have. People want, strong, vindictive leaders to channel their hatred against the opposition. Democrats are missing out on this, man. Republicans are great at doing this. I like him, man. I do like Tim Walz. Was FDR a mean guy? He could be. People are fighting over the future of the Democratic Party. The party doesn't really have any leadership, right? Like, Obama's pretty much out. Like, every time Obama tweets, he gets 1 million, 2 trillion likes or whatever. But like, he just wants to be a cultural figure. He just wants to be lauded for having good musical taste. Pelosi's out, obviously. Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer have no real social power. The DNC is currently in the process of like ousting Hogg for suggesting that they might take a more aggressive stance towards primarying ineffective politicians within their own party. Like no one has any power within the DNC. Not like really, right? There's no leadership. It's a pretty open field, right?